I did take her out when she asked before, but she didn't go. So she probably does have to go now.
Okay, let's see. We'll put him up here. We'll put Waleed up here. Okay, Arnie, you're all set. I'm going to mute myself.
Okay, Joanne, thank you, and welcome everyone to the March 19th, 2025 meeting of the Danbury Planning Commission. We'll open with the roll call. Mr. Chiocchio.
Here.
Ms. Hofstetter.
Here.
Mr. Sylvain.
Here.
Mr. Haas. Here. We have no alternates to seat, and Chairman Finaldi is here. Let me read the standard Zoom intro. This meeting of the Danbury Planning Commission is being held on Zoom as a virtual meeting. Even though this meeting is a virtual meeting, members of the public and interested parties continue to have the opportunity to participate in the meeting in a couple of different ways. You can participate via Zoom and see the audio and the video, or you can call in by phone and participate via audio only. Please be aware that we may have to mute your microphone or telephone to avoid an echo or some other background noise. Instructions on how to participate in the meeting appear on the City of Danbury website, and all of the documents and materials that apply to the matters to be discussed during this meeting, including the agenda, are also available on the City of Danbury website. Excuse me. As always, if you have any questions regarding how to participate in the meeting, please contact the City of Danbury Planning and Zoning Department. As a reminder, the entire meeting will be posted on and can be seen on the City of Danbury website. We will follow the posted agenda as per standard practice. If prior to the meeting, any questions or comments on agenda items were submitted via email to the Planning and Zoning Department, those comments will be read during the appropriate portion of the meeting. Finally, please remember that technology glitches do sometimes occur. Please be patient if that happens. Before we move on in the agenda, one other thing. On the matter of Belimo Air Controls USA Inc. application for revised special exception, please know that at the request of the applicant, that hearing will be tabled and continued until our April 2nd, 2025 meeting. So again, to repeat, if anyone is attending this evening regarding the Belimo Air Controls USA Inc. application, that matter will be tabled until our next meeting on April 2nd, 2025. And we will hear no testimony on that application this evening. Thank you. Commission members, the minutes of the February 19th meeting and March 5th meeting have been distributed. Unless there's any discussion, I'll entertain a motion to accept those minutes.
Mr. Chairman, so moved.
Thank you, Helen.
Second.
Second, Mr. Sylvain. Any questions? All in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed? The minutes are accepted. Let the record show, again, as I mentioned briefly earlier, the next regular meeting of the Danbury Planning Commission will be held on April 2nd, 2025. We will move right to our first public hearing this evening. Bright Ravens IS Danbury LLC. Application for special exception site plan approval for hotel conversion to apartment house, mixed use Innovative Studios Danbury in accordance with section 5B2B14. And trip generation greater than 500 vehicle trips per day, section 3E2 in the CA80 zone, 18 Old Ridgebury Road, C15008, special exception number 804. I will read the legal notice. Notice is hereby given that the Danbury Planning Commission of the City of Danbury will hold a public hearing commencing at 7 p.m. on Wednesday, March 19th, 2025, in a web-based meeting hosted on Zoom to consider the following matter. Bright Ravens IS Danbury LLC, application for special exception site plan approval for hotel conversion to apartment house, mixed use, Innovation Studios Danbury, in accordance with section 5B2B14 and trip generation greater than 500 vehicle trips per day, section 3E2, in the CA80 zone, 18 Old Ridgebury Road, C15008, special exception number 804. A copy of this application is on file in the Planning and Zoning Office for public inspection. Parties in interest and citizens shall have an opportunity to be heard at this time. The meeting agenda to be posted will include instructions on how to access the Zoom meeting and application materials or view the meeting in real time on YouTube. Arnold D. Finaldi, Jr., Chairman, posted on city website and Town Clerk's Office on March 4th, 2025, published in News Times on March 7th, and March 14th, 2025, purchase order number 2025-503. Is there anyone wishing to speak in favor of this application? Mr. Bertram, go right ahead.
Thank you, Chairman. Good evening, everyone. We're here on the Crown Plaza. I know we all know it well. And we're excited to be proceeding with the site plan application for the conversion. The team that we have here tonight is Steve Sullivan from CCA Engineering. He represents civil engineering and also landscape design. Joe Balskis is teaching this evening, but will be available after 8 p.m. He is a traffic engineer and is very familiar with all of the workings of the Danbury area and these intersections and the like. And so he's got a report that Steve will take us through and during the presentation phase. And Maura is here from 72 Architects and will take us through sort of the building fit up plans. We have Dave Daniels and Emma Carlson for legal counsel in case there's anything that comes up that has got any technical legal questions that they'll be ready and able to weigh in. But I think that tonight, I figured I would just talk for a minute for the, how excited we are to introduce 156 studio apartments into this market area and product type that I think is sorely needed. There are also 44 one-bedrooms proposed that are a little more like what's in the marketplace, but we do think that there's something novel about the micro studio concept and that it fills a need. On top of that, we have some folks from the Makerspace that'll weigh in tonight after the presentation because they're more cheerleading, for lack of a better way of putting it. And so with that, I'd like to turn it over to Steve Sullivan and let him walk through the proposed site plan, if you will.
Hello, everyone. Steve Sullivan from CCA Engineers. I'm a registered professional engineer in the state of Connecticut. May I share my screen to go through the plans?
Absolutely.
Thank you. Is that popped up on your end?
Not yet. There it is.
Okay. I figured I'd start with the Google Earth image. So we're talking about 18 Old Ridgeberry Road, which is on the east side of Old Ridgeberry Road. This large 10-story building is the existing building, obviously. To the north, along Old Ridgeberry Road, is the entrance ramp to I-84 East. It is a 7.24 acre parcel in the CA80 zone. It contains the 10-story building. The driveway comes off the southwest side of the property, the existing driveway, and meanders down in the back to a large parking field. The site is served by city water and city sewer. Okay, I changed screens to a site plan. Is that popped up on your end?
No.
Not yet? Okay.
Here it is.
There you go.
Okay.
Got it.
So the proposal is Innovation Studios, which is the repurposing of the existing building to a mixed-use occupancy. As Dan mentioned earlier, there's a proposal for 200 apartments, 156 efficiency, 44 one-bedroom. Of the 200, 10 would be affordable units, 8 efficiency, and 2 one-bedroom units would be part of the affordable units. Included in the building would be the reestablishment of the restaurant. There was a restaurant in the old hotel. And another large space would be for the Makerspace folks. And then there's some various amenity spaces for the tenants, such as a workout gym just for the tenants, not for the public. Little coffee area and stuff like that. The far majority of this application is for the repurposing of the building and its interior space. There isn't a lot of exterior changes to the site. But there are a few, and they include the following. We're going to install, for connectivity purposes, we're going to install at the end of an existing patio, a new sidewalk and stairs up to Old Ridgeberry Road. So people can get up to Old Ridgeberry Road and traverse along the existing sidewalk system that's on that section of road. This existing patio does connect to the lower parking field through some other existing sidewalks. Also, there's access through the building to get down to the lower parking field. One of the comments we received from staff recently was to rebuild the existing sidewalk and curbing along the site frontage. So that will be noted on our next iteration of plans. And that came from the Construction Services Department within the city. One other change, where the existing tennis courts will be replaced with a new basketball and pickleball courts. As you can see, that picture is right here. It's in the southern center of the property. In addition, we're going to add some additional benches along some of the existing sidewalks, a little sitting area / pocket park with some benches located in this larger island within the existing parking field. And then there's some maintenance items that we're proposing to do now, which would happen even if this was still a hotel operating. Those would include, repaving the parking field and restriping. It needs a fresh coat of asphalt. It's been there for a long time. Also repairing some curbing and some cracked sidewalks. But that would be, again, maintenance items that would occur even if it was still a hotel. Also some tree pruning along the exterior edge of the parking area. Another item we're proposing is north of the site where the I-84 entrance ramp is. There's no existing crosswalk or ADA ramps along that existing sidewalk area. So we're proposing to install those at that ramp intersection with Old Ridgeberry Road. And from a landscaping standpoint, again, we want to prune the trees along the perimeter of the existing parking lot. They're a little overgrown, and we're going to add trees to some of the end islands, landscape islands that don't have trees. They're maybe there in the beginning, but they could have been taken down or died or something over the years. So we're going to replant some of those end islands. Also add some in that pocket park area, some plantings and shrubs as well. From a parking standpoint, we have a parking table. There are 383 parking spaces required for the proposed use, and there's 383 spaces provided on the site. There is no change in impervious surface on the site. Along with the hotel conversion to apartments, there's a requirement for open space. Let's get that to you. So open space is outdoor and indoor. Outdoor could be passive recreation. So the open space area requirement is 100,000 square feet. So it's 500 square feet per residential unit at 200. We're proposing 146,190 square feet. So that's 46,000 over the requirements. 24,451 would be inside the building. And Maura can go over some of the interior spaces when she presents the architectural layout of the building. Before I go on to traffic, are there any questions regarding the site at this point?
Commission members, any questions for Mr. Sullivan at this point?
Mr. Chairman,
Please.
I thought I read somewhere where there's a dog park. Can you show us where that is on the plan? Maybe I missed it.
No, we don't have a dog park proposed, but there's plenty of walking areas
Okay.
around the site that people can walk a dog.
Oh, okay. I thought I saw something where there, okay, thank you.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Mr. Sylvain.
just in response to Mr. Kyokyo, I think that was a comment from the health department, and I would be curious if that's the full response. And outside of that, I think there was a question about connection to the landscaped picnic area for pedestrians. I was curious if there is a plan there yet, or please.
Let me get back to that. So I think you're talking about this, one of the larger islands within the site, this little sitting area.
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, that's just a pea stone surface, a pervious surface. So if a tenant wanted to sit outside for a little bit out in this particular area, they can walk down the driveway aisles to this entrance right here, which is again a pea stone gravel. And inside the island is this sitting area.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Shall I move on to the traffic presentation?
One more question, Mr. Chairman.
Please.
Sure.
Mr. Kyokyo.
Regarding the parking, I don't see the table at the moment, but the question would be, is there any provision for electric charging stations in this parking lot?
We have not shown provisions for that. That's something we can consider.
Yeah, I think that would be a good idea to have some charging stations here, given this type of development. I think it makes sense to have some there.
I completely agree with you. So we can call that out. We have, in new construction environments, some with covered parking. We did this at Brookview Commons at the new building there. We had 4 stations in the below 149 unit building. We just opened a 100-unit building in Portland, Connecticut that we had 4 units there as well. So we can commit to, I think, at least 4 stations if that's a good start, and then we kind of would grow it based on utilization from the customer.
Sure, that sounds about right. Thank you.
Sure.
And just a quick note to anyone that speaks this evening, it's a little tricky. We're on Zoom. When the screen is shared, I can't see everybody. So when you speak, just make sure you open with who you are. Just say, hi, this is such and such. Reintroduce yourself. It makes it easier for Joanne to do the minutes as well. Go ahead, Steve.
Okay, hi, this is Steve Sullivan again. I'm
Thank you.
Bring up traffic summary. Okay, has that popped up on your end? Innovation Studios traffic generation overview?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. So as Dan mentioned, Joe Balskis is unavailable at this point in time. If the hearing goes past 8 p.m. tonight, he can join on the Zoom if there's an additional question, but I am pinch hitting for him, and he prepared this nice 4 or 5 page presentation for the commission. All right, so the existing conditions. In 1980, there was an OSTA approval for the hotel, 248 room hotel, 350 seat restaurant, 13,000 square feet banquet space that projected to have 2,500 vehicle trips per day. Using the ITE, Institute of Transportation Engineers, traffic generation manual, those uses actually generated 2,178 vehicle trips, so lower than what OSTA had approved the site for. Continuing to use the traffic generation manual and the state of Connecticut OSTA approved methodology, the change in use from hotel with restaurant to residential with restaurant. Again, 200 apartments, 20,000 square feet of makerspace, and 10,000 square feet of restaurant/arcade space generates 2,006 daily trips, which is 172 trips less than the prior hotel use. In the AM peak, the prior hotel use was 113. This proposed use would be 147, so an additional 34 trips during the AM peak. In the PM peak, the prior hotel use was 150. In the proposed use, the PM peak is 251 trips. That's 101 differential between the prior hotel and the proposed use. The conclusionary statements, as I mentioned, we're reducing the daily traffic generation by 147 trips, increasing the peak hour in the morning to 47, plus 47, and plus 101 in the afternoon. Those are minimal increases in peak hour traffic on Old Ridgeberry Road, as there's 18,000 vehicles per day. That was based on a 2013 traffic study. And again, most of the traffic moves to Interstate 84 rather than going south along Old Ridgeberry Road. One thing the applicant asked the traffic engineer to do is study larger areas within the building, just in case in the future there's some flexibility to increase space for a certain tenant. You notice there's 20,000 square foot of makerspace. The current architectural and site plans, it's only proposing 17,000 square feet. And the restaurant arcade in the traffic study was 10,000 square feet. The current proposal in the architecturals in the site plans is 7,100 square feet, plus or minus. And again, the applicant wanted the traffic study to generate traffic for larger areas just for future potential flexibility in increasing certain tenant spaces. I think I could pass it off to Maura to talk about the architecture at this point.
That's fine. If I could just interject for just a second, I see some hands raised, and I just want to make sure that everyone knows how we will proceed through the hearing. This is, I think, the best way to do it. We'll let Mr. Bertram's team speak first. So I'll ask, I guess, Mr. Bertram to introduce any member of his team that he wants to speak in favor of the application. We'll do that first. Then anyone else outside of his team that wants to speak in favor will be able to do so, and we'll have an opportunity to do so. Once that's done, I'll then call the opposition and they'll have an opportunity to speak. So I want to make sure everybody gets heard. I see some hands up. I'm not ignoring anybody. I just think that's a better way to proceed through the hearing in a more organized way. So Mr. Sullivan, go right ahead.
Yeah, I think at this point, I'll pass it off to Maura. I think
I'm sorry, Mr. Chiocchio, you have a question. Go ahead.
I do, sorry. Regarding the traffic and I have some comments and maybe a question, and we could either have Joe respond if he comes on it after 8, if we're around, or at the next meeting is fine as well. So I'm assuming that the counts there that we're talking about are counts at the driveway of the property. And sorry about that. So, and when I look at with the traffic, I see that the overall counts are down, just under 200 a day. And presumably that's spread out during the day. Sorry, there's something going on with my electricity. So anyways, so I'm assuming that's spread out during the day. But the peak hours have increased traffic. You said at 34 in the morning, 101 at PM, and it might not sound like a lot. I'm wondering what effect that would have on Mill Plain Road, which is really the area where the heaviest of traffic is, and presumably where many of these cars are going to be probably coming from there, and I guess maybe some onto 84 and might not get into the Mill Plain Road area. But I like to kind of understand the effect on the Mill Plain Road, because that's really a big traffic a headache for a lot of people. And at the end of the day, 34 in the morning probably doesn't mean anything. But I just get a little bit of analysis on that.
Sure. I think if I could take you up on the offer to allow the expert to weigh in when he joins us, I think he'd be the most
Excuse me,
equipped to answer
he's
that
in.
question.
He's in.
Yep.
I just let him in.
Oh, okay.
Good
I don't know
time.
where he is,
The
but
floor is Joe's if he heard
we
the
have to
question.
find him, that's all. Let's see, there he is. Joe, are you there? He's still muted. Let me move him up. Oh,
It's funny. He mentioned to me that he's giving an exam for his engineering class, and he said he was just going to log on to listen in.
Oh, okay.
So he might not be available to talk
Oh.
until 8.
He's teaching traffic engineering, by the way.
okay,
Yes.
so
Sure,
never mind.
We'll have to defer till that.
We can wait till he's available. That's fine.
No, I appreciate it. I think he's the best guy to answer that, because
Yeah,
he has done the analysis for the reserve. He knows exits 2 and 1,
Sure.
well. So
Yep.
he's
Okay.
the right guy.
Thank
Great.
you.
Sure.
Mr. Bertram, want to introduce anybody else?
Yes, we'd like Maura Newell-Wan to present next.
Okay, so you guys can see that screen?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Excellent. So
Yes.
my name is Maura Newell-Wan. I'm principal architect at 72 Architects in Danbury. I'm really excited to be working on this building. It's been empty and neglected for so long, and it's really thrilling to be part of a project that's breathing new life back into it to rejuvenate the building, but also the way that this building marks a gateway to Danbury. Like, this is the first tall building that tells you that you've reached town. So it's a really important opportunity architecturally to make it attractive and an exciting project to be part of. You can see the building's already been painted out there. And this is just an idea to brighten up the exterior, right? The contrast of the white and dark. At the exterior, that work is underway. Those are boring CAD elevations as required, but not as fun. So I'd like to take you inside. As we all know, it looked like a hotel before. And this is the same angle of a construction shot this week. You could see how we've taken out this bed and moved this bed, and this whole wall will be the kitchen now. I'll show you some additional pictures as well. Looking towards the window, there would have been 2 beds and then the dresser desk situation on your left. What you see we've done is we've flipped the desk and the dresser over to the opposite wall, run cabinets straight across. So you have kitchen workspace and then living TV home workspace and the bed on the wall behind us to open up that floor plan. This shows the overall concept of the room and where we're headed with it. So you'll walk in and there's the kitchen that wraps around where the bathroom is. Bathroom outside wall, stove, fridge, dresser, desk, and cabinets all the way along the whole wall for extra storage. The bed flips to this opposite wall with a headboard and side tables, space for a little dining table in this room, a large closet. And this is a rendering of what it will look like when it's finished. You can see the cabinets for lots of storage, the kitchen, the way it wraps around. Plenty of horizontal space and storage space, and it feels really big. It's fun to realize how big this room can be when you just flip the bed and the desk and dresser. It really opens it up. This is a rendering looking back towards the entrance door, again showing how the kitchen will be set up, fridge, stove, dishwasher. And back towards the window again. We're going to keep the walls and ceiling fresh and clean and bright, and the floor will have a vinyl plank floor finish for a nice finished look. At the floor, I'd like to walk through the floor plans too. So with the lobby plan, which is on our left here, I've put some color coding on here to help it read a little better. It is a giant building, of course. The restaurant space, we've allocated 7,130 square feet for restaurant, dining room, kitchen, and support spaces, as well as a coffee spot over here. We've allocated 7,521 square feet for the maker space. It's basically all the old ballrooms connecting back to support rooms in the back hidden part of the building the rest of us have never been to. There'll be a small little front-facing area of the makerspace tucked in at the lobby. And then as we go, let me stay on this floor for a second, actually. The green space is the common area open space interior. This is where you might bring your laptop down and come work here for the day, run into other people in the building. It could be a social, work, living sort of hub scene. I think it's a great opportunity to overlap with your neighbors. Going up half a story, there's a mezzanine, which will house more of the makerspace in blue here. Former ballrooms and offices will be part of the makerspace. Conference center will be divided between a makerspace, and I've just grayed out the landlord support spaces because bathrooms and elevators, those are not interesting to us today. Green, common, open spaces, fitness center, mezzanine lobbies, support places. As we go up into the tower, these plans, you're going to see them repeat because obviously they're very similar, but I've added colors to make it a little more clear what we're doing. But basically the concept is that we have a mix of studio apartments and one-bedroom apartments. We have mixed in accessible apartments and affordable apartments so that nobody's all clumped together. Everybody's mixed through the whole building. When we look at each floor plan, and this is the third floor, the green is the common space. We're looking to make sort of a casual hang spot at the elevators on each floor, so everybody could come out of their apartment and gather as a floor together in that one spot. We're also showing in the outlined units, these are the accessible units. And the solid orange units, these are affordable units as I thumb through these floors. This is a one-bedroom and this is a studio. This is the third floor and the fourth floor. The units move to be the affordable one-bedroom and affordable studio. The fifth floor has an affordable studio and other accessible apartments on it. The sixth floor, 4 accessible studios and an affordable unit. 7th floor has an affordable, the 8th floor, the 9th floor has an affordable unit, the 10th floor has an affordable unit, an accessible unit, and 2 large lounges that will be additional open area, common space inside the building. So I think I hit it all. Are there questions? I should leave this up while we talk about the plans.
Any questions for Maura, commission members at this time? I think we're okay.
All righty then.
All right, so with that, I think we would go back to Steve for a moment. I think he was going to do a high-level treatment of a proposed phasing plan. And with that, that would conclude our presentation of what the physical improvement is. I'll have a few comments when he's done with the phasing.
Yes, again, Steve Sullivan from CCA. Before I comment on the phasing plan, which is included in the package submitted to the city, We have received staff comments and we'll be revising and responding to those comments accordingly before the next hearing. So from a phasing standpoint, the applicant broke it up into 3 phases. Phase 1 would be floors 7, 8, 9, and 10, which are apartments, and some lounge space on the 10th floor. Again, that interior lounge space is part of the open space number when we talked about 24,000 square feet of indoor space. These units would be done the quickest and soonest and be available for market. Phase 2, we move down the building to floors 5 and 6. Amenity spaces in phase 2 would be co-working amenity space in the main lobby, art gallery in the main lobby, the gym on the mezzanine level, second lounge space on the 10th floor, and then the sidewalk walkway connecting to Old Ridgeberry Road from that existing patio, which is right near outside that pool building. And then, excuse me, phase 3 would be floors 3 and 4 apartments, and additional amenities would be the restaurant with the outdoor patio, coffee shop experience, the pickleball sports court, exterior landscaping, and what's not in listed on the phase, but we would add this item to the phase 3, is the construction services request to redo the sidewalks and curbing along Old Ridgeberry Road. And so we would put that item of work in the phase 3. Again, amenities may be brought online faster. But that's the general phasing plan we're proposing for this mixed-use building.
All right, so this is Dan Bertram again. In terms of the overall picture, we're certainly excited to bring, if you see some of the signage that we were proposing for the Old Ridgeberry Road side of the building, it's live, work, create, collab. And there isn't in the suburbs typically a place to work and live and have fun. And so the arcade woven into the bar, restaurant, coffee shop, co-working, video conferencing, art gallery. I mean, we have all kinds of things that are, we think, exciting amenities off the main lobby and on that mezzanine level. And we've put a lot of time, and one of the reasons it took us till now to come in for the site plan application was because we've been working on building the building, because we were able to, it's a similar scope for an extended stay hotel. And so we permitted that work, but it's now the intention to open as an apartment complex, having done, the same work. But it's been a journey figuring out what that initial experience is. So the reason that we had asked our traffic engineer to say, well, if nobody's using the video conferencing room and we made it an extension of some entertainment component, we, for 750 square feet on a 180,000 square foot building, we didn't want to come bother you again. So we were trying to think through where some flexibility may be desirable and made an application along those lines. So you'll find a perfect syncing up between Steve's presentation and Maura's, and there was just a little more capacity baked into Joe Balskis's traffic analysis, just to keep from having to redo certain things for small changes in the future. Because the idea with a place called Innovation Studios is to experiment a little bit, right? And so we're giving our best thinking for the opening experience. We have a sore need for this price point housing in the area. And, when we conclude our formal presentation, then certainly the makerspace folks will speak about their excitement for it, because it will be pretty cool. I think I've said this in some other forums, but there are open space requirements that are per the zoning regs, and then that are recreational and exciting. But for some people, having a 3D printer or a laser cutter, that's better than pickleball or or a basketball court, right? These are exciting things. A podcasting a studio, that kind of is the world we're in, and it's more digitized. So we're excited to get going and open an initial experience. We're hoping to open a floor or two at a time as we complete the building from the top to the bottom. And that will involve a lot of different disciplines in the city with the fire marshal and everyone else, because you need safety everywhere while even the conversion takes place. But it's such a big one that we came in when we saw what our initial experience we thought should be, and are happy to have finally been able to propose it to you tonight.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bertram. Before I call the others speaking in favor, just a reminder to everybody, given the number of open items in the staff report, we're not going to close this public hearing tonight anyway. So even if Mr. Bauskas or anyone else doesn't get an opportunity to participate, this public hearing will be open, and will be reopened at our next meeting. So I just wanted to remind everybody, this isn't it. We're not going to be closing the public hearing this evening. Now, before I move on, Jennifer, did you have a comment? I'm sorry, I thought I saw a hand from Jennifer Eminger.
No, I'm good.
Oh, we're good, okay.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else wishing to speak in favor of this application? Just wave a hand, hopefully I'll see you. And is it Keith Snyder, is that it? Mr. Snyder, I think I'm calling on you. I can see your hand up, but I can't see you on video. So if it's you, unmute yourself and go right ahead.
Hello, my name is Keith Snyder. I'm a current Danbury Hackerspace member, and I just want to tell you briefly about the experience here, just to give an additional perspective on it. I'm here nearly every day, often into the night, running Typeflow, my publishing services company that specializes in ebooks. My two biggest clients are Scholastic Books and the Center for Equitable Library Access in Canada. In 2022, I used the Hackerspace to learn enough programming to make an ebook creation app called the ePubulator. And people at the space turned out to be exactly the right people to have technical conversations with about it, because that's who happens to be around here, is knowledgeable people with all different ways of thinking who are generous with their advice and assistance. And I do the same for others. I was chosen for the Connecticut Small Business Development Center's SBIR Accelerator as a result of being in this space. And my current advisor from SCORE came from connections here too. But the Hackerspace isn't just used by technical people, it's used by makers of all kinds. My children's picture book about bicycles launches in about 2 weeks on Kickstarter, which is a collaboration with a painter I met right there. This place is a rare mix of business, art, tech, and human connection, and I've made profound and lasting friendships here. And then just last, I moved here from the city as a single dad after divorce and have intended to return there now that they've started college, but I don't think I'm going to, because this is just too valuable. You can't find things like this just anywhere. So I'm also keeping an eye on the apartments. Thanks for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Snyder, for those comments. I see a Mike. Is it Mike? Sorry, I can't get your last name. Kakachi?
Kolchny.
I
Sorry.
tried.
Mike Kolchny. So, hey, dear Planning Commission, once again, we're before you. I'm Mike Kolchny. I'm speaking in support of the Bright Ravens Innovation Studios project in the Danbury Makerspace. I'm a Danbury taxpayer and I live in the King Street neighborhood. I'm also the father of two young ladies in their early 20s that struggle to find low-cost housing in the Danbury area. And the Bright Ravens apartments would be a great option for young people looking to stay in the area. As a landlord, I know the rents are high and apartments are hard to find, and this project would help with the shortage and also provide an affordable option. John Gatro and I started the nonprofit Danbury Hackerspace in 2012, and this year we're changing the name to the Danbury Makerspace to be a bit friendlier. Turns out Hackerspace scared a few people. We've been in the Danbury Library Innovation Center for the past 10 years, and during that time, our tech and manufacturing incubator has mentored and advised hundreds of inventors, entrepreneurs, craftspeople, and artists. Our community has helped so many people. We've helped companies like Performance Rigging Solutions, Noteworthy Chocolates, Skyflex, ErgoChef, Twin Connect Technologies, Typeflow New York City, and many others. We've trained hundreds of people on computer-aided design, also known as CAD, and safely trained people to use 3D printers, industrial lasers, and CNC routers. We've helped entrepreneurs secure patents, trademarks, and copyrights to protect their inventions. And over the years, we've had members from more than 35 towns and cities join our community and use our Main Street location. Okay. People have driven up to 45 minutes to work out of our space on Main Street because we're the only resource like this between Manhattan, New Haven, and Hartford. The new makerspace at Bright Ravens Innovation Studios will have full wood and metal shops, 3D printing and laser cutting labs, electronics and robotics studios, a sewing studio, pottery and photography, podcasting, and music studios. Inventors, entrepreneurs, artists, and craftspeople will be able to build almost anything at the makerspace. We have low-cost artist and entrepreneur spaces for people to start businesses. And a few years ago, and it's still valid, we've been assigned a project manager, we won a $500,000 grant from the State of Connecticut Community Investment Fund that we used to purchase equipment and also fit out the makerspace. We're part of a network of makerspaces in the state of Connecticut, and the Danbury Makerspace will be one of the largest in New England. The Hartford Makerspace is training students in careers in manufacturing, and Make Haven, New Haven, has grown to more than 800 members. We all work together as part of the state of Connecticut Forge program to help inventors and entrepreneurs bring their products to market. The Bright Ravens Innovation Studios and Makerspace will be a unique facility that will be a regional resource that will bring people to Danbury. Thanks for the opportunity to speak on behalf of this amazing project.
Thank you very much for your comments, Mr. Katchi.
Just call me Mike, please.
Mike is good. Thank you. I see. Is it Veron James? Is that it? Please go right ahead.
Hey there, can you hear me okay?
You can.
All right, so I didn't write anything. This is kind of a little last minute for me. I got out of work early. I first came to the makerspace from the library when I was making air purifiers for COVID prevention. And I think it was maybe a year ago by now. I needed to learn how to 3D print. I came in here, met a lot of people, immediately felt at home, learned how to 3D print thanks to all of the wonderful people I have around. I have a background in visual art. That's what I went to school with. But I also learned how to, thanks to the makerspace, pick apart computers, put them back together. And that led me to taking a certification course for a new job in cybersecurity that I'm entering. I work on, which was suggested to me by the Hackerspace, and many of my mentors are here, and I learn from them new things every day. The very computer I'm talking to you on was donated by one member's company, and then I learned how to, like, they kind of had me put it back and fix it back together, and this is the same laptop I'm talking to you on and doing all my studies on. So they've helped me with career training and finding like-minded people, and I'm just extremely blessed to have this place in my life.
Thank you very much for those comments. We appreciate it. I think I see a Frank Ballantyne. Don't hold me to that. Please proceed.
Actually, you got it right. My name is Frank Ballantyne. I'm from Stamford, Connecticut, so one of those members who drives, 45 minutes to come up. And I just want to say I do it because it's one of the best places around to, get work done. I don't have anything local to me that I can get to, 24/7, has all the resources, people, just essentially everything. So I find myself spending more time in Danbury every week to, get work done. It's been a quiet place to either, work on personal projects. Like I said, I'm into amateur radio, and IT, or even just, or stuff more career-wise. I ended up needed a quiet place to, write my resume, and a lot of times I just end up coming to the space to, hash things out. And I'm currently speaking from my currently new job I got last year, is able to just have a quiet place to speak. So just wanted to, give my appreciation for the space and thank the committee for letting me speak.
Thank you, Mr. Valentine, for your comments. Is there anyone else wishing to speak in favor of this application? Anyone else in favor? Is there any, is that Mr. Rotello?
Mr. Chairman, for the record, Paul Rotello, 13 Linden Place, Danbury. Can you hear me? Sometimes on some of these devices, you can't hear me too well. I think what I'll do is move a little bit closer, and maybe that might help.
We can always hear.
Are we good?
We can always hear
Yes.
your baritone, Paul.
Okay, thank you very much. So this is not about the hackerspace or the inventory to Danbury Housing. It seems like a fascinating project, and I'm sure it's going to be a great addition to the Danbury Housing inventory. I have some queries about traffic queuing, the pitch of the driveway, and the sidewalk, and I just want to let the applicant know that I will be waiting until the continuation of the meeting after the traffic expert speaks, assuming that the traffic expert does speak. So I just want to put out there that at the next time around, I will have some questions about queuing on the driveway, the pitch. Normally with this hotel, I've been there a bazillion times. You roll up the driveway at a pretty good clip and stop at the top with relatively level, look both ways and then go out. But with queuing traffic, I think they said a 25% increase in morning trips. Not too concerned about the afternoon trips, except for the left-hand turns coming off of Ridgeberry. But with all those cars queued up in the morning, bumper to bumper, wet leaves, rain, things like that, the traction is going to be a little bit of an issue. So I just want to hear some comments on that if they're planning on increasing the traction on the driveway, because they really can't change the pitch unless they build a new ramp. And the other, so that's one question. And the other question would be the first presenter, I can't remember his name, I'm sorry. The first presenter talked about this new sidewalk on the south side of the building. And it sounded to me like he said steps. He was going to, there's a strong pitch going down to the parking lot. So will there actually be steps on the sidewalk? And if there are steps, are there any plans for accommodating people who have mobility issues? Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Rotello. What I'll do is I'll continue to call for those speaking in favor. I'll ask the applicant to have his traffic engineer address the issue of the pitch of the driveway and queuing. And then after everybody speaks, I'll let the applicant respond to the matter of the sidewalk and the steps.
Yeah, thank you. And again, it doesn't have to be tonight. It can be, they can get their facts together and do it at the continued meeting. Thank you.
Fair enough. Is there anyone else wishing to speak in favor of this application? Anyone else in favor? Anyone else wishing to speak in favor of this application?
Mr. Chairman?
Yeah, who's that? Mr. Chianese?
Yes, it is.
You got to wave your hand there, Ben.
Sorry. I'm sorry about the camera. Just really quick. My Councilman Ben Chianese at 5 Briar Ridge Road. As far, same thing with Councilman Rotello. I am too concerned with the pitch of the driveway, as I didn't hear much discussion this evening concerning that. As with him, I would.
You're breaking up, Ben. You're breaking up. I can't understand you.
Yeah, Ben, hold on. We can't. Your sound isn't coming through clearly.
How's that better?
Sounds a little better, yeah.
I'm sorry. So yeah, as Councilman Rotello said, that queuing up of that driveway could be an issue as cars start queuing up, especially on icy days. It's very difficult to exit that place because when I used to go to functions there, sometimes it would take 25, 30 minutes to get out of that driveway. And since you'll be dealing with a lot of residential, you can have a lot of Amazon trucks coming in and out as well. So sometimes those vehicles may have a difficult time coming out of it as well. So that's a concern. I'd like to have more information on that as well, because I want to see this be successful as everybody else as well. And also a secondary driveway. I didn't see where if there's emergency vehicles that come in there as well. I didn't know if there needs to be a secondary exit out of that facility, and I didn't see that being mentioned this evening. So, which is again a concern, but again, I want this to be as successful as it can be. So, those are my concerns at this point. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, Ben. Yeah, just so you know, for the future, you're coming through a little warbly. I think I got it. You kind of you want to reinforce Mr. Rotello's questions about the the pitch of the driveway and queuing, and you also were asking about some sort of alternate exit. I'll let the applicant address that. Is there any?
Correct. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
You're welcome. Anyone else speaking in favor of this application? Anyone else in favor? Anyone else wishing to speak in favor of this application? Is there anyone wishing to speak in opposition to this application? Anyone in opposition? Anyone wishing to speak in opposition to this application? I'll go to the applicant. Again, you heard the questions. You're welcome to respond this evening or to defer to next meeting with Mr. Bauskas, but I believe the questions, and I'll address this to Mr. Bertram, had to do with the pitch of the driveway and potential queuing on the driveway was one thing. And then there was a question about a sidewalk and steps, I believe, on the south side of the building. So is that something you want to respond to this evening or next meeting?
I can give a high-level response first, and I think on traffic, we will defer to next meeting, but certainly the pitch of the driveway is, we think, within commercial standards and is accessible. It was not in good condition, and we actually did mill it and repave before last winter. And so the entrance down to the porte cochere is all kind of new work, and Steve Sullivan can speak to what design standards need to be met for traction and things like that for a successful operating property. That's not so much a traffic thing, but I can defer to Steve on that. The second entrance, no, that is not something that's planned. We are redeveloping a property with the topography it has, and I can say this, it's one of the most robustly built, safe places I can imagine in the city. It's got, it's built a big concrete building, 11 stories tall, sprinklered, got a giant porte cochere. It was built in a first-class fashion in 1980 for just a use that is no longer in demand. But we think its rebirth is interesting. But the core infrastructure of it is actually fantastic. And so that's one of the things that was attractive to me and why we've put so much into rebirthing it. So I think that Steve could weigh in on what the pitches are and where that meets commercial standards and things like that. But yes, again, we'll defer to impact on Mill Plain Road for when Joe is able to weigh in directly.
Thank you.
Thank you.
For the record, Steve Sullivan. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to be a maintenance item during the winter months for that existing driveway. Again, we're retrofitting or repurposing an existing building, an existing site as best we can. But it'll be managed by Dan Bertram's group, and icing and assaulting and sanding in those driveway up to Old Ridgeberry Road will have to be done daily when it's icy conditions. And as far as the south access to Old Ridgeberry, that does include stairs and walkway, so steps are included. ADA, we didn't feel that would be ADA feasible, and especially if you got onto Old Ridgeberry Road, that existing sidewalk down to Mill Plain is not at an acceptable slope. It follows the slope of the road, so it's not, even Old Ridgeberry Road sidewalks are not ADA accessible for concerning slopes.
But I will, Dan Bertram again jumping in. The building's fantastic for ADA folks. So you've got 3 elevators off that main lobby. Every unit is controlled access and full, either type A, type B. We've been doing these taller buildings more and more, and this is as good as it gets. So from my perspective, I think we're being very sensitive to folks who need that kind of thing. It's just that the walking piece from the terrace on the north part of the site up to the frontage, that necessarily needs to have steps. But I think with the porte cochere, I mean, you come down, you're out of the elements, and you're into the main lobby and to wherever you need to be in the building. So I think we cover that demographic quite well.
Thank you, Mr. Bertram, for that. And again, we'll defer the other issues to your traffic engineer. A quick question from me before you wrap up. It's just curiosity. Give me a range for a monthly rent efficiency in one bedroom, just to give me an idea.
Sure. So we have the studio apartments will be furnished actually. So they will have separately metered electricity. So that'll cover heating and cooling. But the rent furnished, as you saw partially laid out in that one, in progress picture that Maura got from the field, that was about $13.50 a month is where we intend to start there. And there's going to be some differentiation with what bed is in there. So there will be double beds. A double bed option, that'll be the starter. There'll be a king bed option, and then there will be a Murphy bed option with a table that can swing down when the bed is up. So there are a couple things where there'll be some step ups because there are 156 of these, so some differentiation between them is going to be in order. The one bedrooms should start around $19.50. Those will not be furnished, and that's more in line with market rents, and that is more of a product that exists in the marketplace. And I think it does, it's executed well. We went to great lengths to cut openings where there were suites before into wide, basically combining two existing rooms into a nice sized one bedroom, and the one bedrooms have in-unit washers and dryers. So it's a nice option set. And the water and sewer will be included in that rent, which is there may be a sewer charge that's separate that can be done in on a flat fee basis when you don't individually meter, but the hot water needed to be served from a central plant. So we didn't replumb everything, but we did almost rewire everything as it related to the core infrastructure and the apartments themselves.
Thank you for that, Mr. Bertram. Commission members, before I ask for a motion to continue, is there any other questions for the applicant? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to continue this public hearing till our next meeting on April 2nd.
Mr. Chairman, motion to move.
Thank you, Helen. Do I hear a
Okay.
second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Haas. Any questions? Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? This hearing is continued until April 2nd. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your participation.
Thank you.
Thank
We're
you.
going to move right to continuation of public hearings. Belimo Air Controls USA Inc. application for revised special exception, revised site plan for proposed warehouse expansion in the IL40 zone, excuse me, 33 Turner Road, A17001, in accordance with section 682A15 and section 10D7A, special exception number 724. As I mentioned at the beginning of the meeting, this hearing will be tabled and continued to the April 2nd, 2025 meeting at the request of the applicant's agent. There will be no testimony taken or given at this meeting. So, commission members, I will entertain a motion to continue the matter of Belimo Air Controls until our next meeting.
Mr. Chairman, so moved.
Motion made, Mr. Sylvain, is second. Second, Mr. Haas. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we're going to go right to old business for discussion and possible action. There's one item on our agenda this evening. 55 Newtown Road LLC. Application for special exception, site plan approval for fast food restaurant, section 5A2B16, drive-through use, section 3E8, and trip generation greater than 500 vehicle trips per day, section 3E2, in the CG20 zone, 55 Newtown Road, L12023, special exception number 803. A draft resolution for approval was previously distributed. Jennifer, to you or Ally going to walk us through the resolution?
I'll be walking the commission through it, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, Ally, it's all yours.
Okay, so the beginning of the draft resolution is the summary of the project per usual. I'm going to skip right over to the conditions. Most of the conditions are pretty standard. Number 4 touches on Vera's and the commission's concerns about queuing of vehicles within the state of Connecticut right away.
Ellie, you're on page 4, right?
Correct, yes.
Okay.
Page 4, condition 4.
Gotcha.
And basically states that the queuing of vehicles shall be confined to the subject property. The next 2 conditions are standard, and then number 7 is conditioning the engineering department staff reports. And then going to number 8, it's that reciprocal easement agreement between 63 Newtown Road, which is Plum Trees Plaza, and the subject property to provide perpetual rights to pass and repass over the shared driveway, on-site sidewalks, and parking areas, and to identify and assign maintenance responsibilities and any common utilities or utility systems. And then the last 3 conditions are pretty standard ones. So if there's any questions, I know I breezed through that, so.
No, that's okay, Ally. We heard a considerable amount of testimony and we had a considerable amount of discussion on this one. Commission members, any questions for Ally on the draft resolution of approval with conditions? I think we all have settled in on this one. Okay. Hearing no other discussion, I'll entertain a motion to approve or deny the resolution of approval with conditions.
Mr. Chairman,
Ms. Hosstetter.
I'll make a motion to approve this petition with the conditions as stated in the resolution draft.
Motion to approve made. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Kiokio. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed? The resolution of approval with conditions is approved. Okay. Moving along on our agenda. You're welcome, Ben. Have a good evening. Referrals. We have 2 824 referrals this evening. The first one is 824 referral, March 2025 City Council agenda item number 1, State of Connecticut. Department of Transportation, CTDOT, easement acquisition for installation of rectangular rapid flashing beacon on Park Avenue. I'm sorry, Jennifer.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the record, Jennifer Eminger, Deputy Planning Director. So both of these referrals are basically the same. They're just in different locations. That first one is on Park Avenue. It's in the vicinity of Park Avenue School. The DOT is installing this beacon, and the rectangular rapid flashing beacon. Those are the crosswalks that flash and safely escort pedestrians across the crosswalk. In this case, since DOT is installing it, a portion of it is within the city right-of-way, and they need an easement from the city. This one is approximately 125 square feet. And it would be for, the easement would allow them to do tree trimming to maintain the solar power for that beacon, as well as, excuse me, install and maintain the traffic signalization. That's part of that system. Staff has no objections and would recommend a positive referral.
Questions for Jennifer, commission members? Go ahead, Bob.
These are the similar ones that are on White Street?
Yes.
And why is the state installing these versus the city? Isn't this a city road?
It is a city road. I'd ask the same question to our traffic engineer, and I think that they have a program to utilize these beacons, and they're administering their program. So as opposed to them providing the beacons to us and we install them, the state is actually doing the installation.
Okay, so less resources from us.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. And again, Bob, if you're taking notes, that's a rectangular rapid flashing beacon. I always wondered what those things were called. Now I know. Okay, any other questions for Jennifer? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion either for a positive or negative referral on this matter.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion for a positive referral.
Thank you very much. Seconded by Mr. Sylvain. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? This 824 referral I'm sorry, this 824 referral gets a positive referral. The second one, as Jennifer mentioned, 824 referral, very similar, March 2025 City Council Agenda Item 2, Connecticut Department of Transportation, CTDOT easement acquisition for installation of regular rapid flashing beacon on Hack Road. Jennifer.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So again, this is the same concept. This beacon is to be installed in that crosswalk on Hack across that connects Richter Park. And this one's approximately 271 square feet because this one's on both sides of the road. Again, within city property. The Park Avenue one was a little smaller because the installation of the opposite side of the beacon is on private property. So the state's obtaining the easement from the private property owner. In this case, we own both sides. So that's why it's a 271 square foot easement. Again, the purpose is noted to install the easements, to install and maintain that, maintain those devices. Staff has no objection and recommends a positive referral.
Thank you, Jen. Any questions
Thank
for
you.
Jennifer on this one? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion for an either positive or negative referral.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion for a positive referral.
Positive referral made by Mr. Sylvain. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Kyokyo. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor of a positive referral, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Both get a positive referral. Good.
Thank you.
There is one item under new business, again, which is scheduled for April 22nd, 2025. Nothing under correspondence or other matters. There's a few things for reference only you could take a look at. Jennifer, am I forgetting anything or are we good?
I think you're good, Mr. Chairman.
I think so too. Okay.
Thank you.
Commission members, unless there's anything else, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move,
Chairman, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I think let's go with Helen with the motion, Mr. Kyokyo with the second. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The meeting is adjourned at 8:14 p.m. Thank you very much, everybody.
Good work,
Thank you,
everyone. Good work.
Good night.
Thanks, everyone. Have a good night.
Good night.